Gerry Butterfield, who are hosting the reception that will follow this dedication. Tonight we honor Gerry Dunlap, the co-founder of Stockton Beautiful, who with her friend Charles Lester established this nonprofit organization 20 years ago this year with the goal of beautifying our city. They were inspired by the sight of wildflowers blooming along the side of the road in Brookside, they say. And since they started this organization, we have evolved into a notable force within our community as we have become involved in increasingly complex and valuable projects, collaborating with schools, the city, the county, and other institutions and nonprofits to achieve our goals in the public realm. This garden is an excellent example of that sort of public and private sector partnership. The land is owned by the city of Stockton and was reserved for use by the Haggin Museum, which not only allowed us to construct within their reserved area, but also are providing the water for the irrigation. This garden was funded by donations to the tune of almost $250,000. It has become a beloved component of Victory Park and a complement to its neighbor at the Great Museum next door. Upon its completion, it was presented as a gift to the city of Stockton, and Stockton Beautiful has agreed to fund the maintenance, which we have continued since its original dedication in 2007. You know, Gerry was instrumental in the creation of this garden. Old timers will remember the former rose garden that preceded this one. It was located on the west side of the museum, and the wooden trellises that defined it had become decrepit, and that entire garden was bulldozed during the construction of the Holt Wing. Noting its absence, Gerry insisted that a city of this size in the state of California must have a municipal rose garden. She presented her idea to the board in 2003, and we immediately began what became a 4-year endeavor to design, fundraise, and construct this project. Not only did Gerry inspire the idea for this project, she advocated throughout its design and construction, pushing for its completion on schedule and under budget. Gerry also contributed financially to this project. Those who are familiar with her family know that her maiden name is Jeffrey, and if you look, you'll notice that the barrel-vaulted arbor over at the western side of the garden includes a plaque dedicated to her family in recognition of her generous monetary donation. Since that happy day 6 years ago when we dedicated the garden, we have tackled other projects, but this remains the gem in our crown, a beautiful gift to our neighbors and friends who recognize the beauty of flowers and the fact that our climate is perfectly suited to growing the queen of all flowers, the rose. I mentioned that Gerry had a co-founder in the creation of Stockton Beautiful, the late Charles Lester, who also recently passed away. You know, when Charles saw the rose garden, he was a bit jealous of his rival's achievement. He noted to me that he had done a lot in Stockton, but he wanted to leave a lasting mark here, a notable civic improvement, something of this scale. And so it goes. Charles had long been an advocate for the Miracle Mile neighborhood. He was particularly interested in seeing the traffic slowed, making it easier to cross the street, making it safer for all of us. Due to his intervention, it was accomplished with diagonal parking and reduced traffic lanes, which were implemented at his suggestion. Now, when the Miracle Mile Improvement District was formed 6 years ago, President Kevin Doherty commissioned Charles to design monumental signs for the Miracle Mile. Charles studied the situation, noted the predominant architectural styles expressed at the University of the Pacific and the El Dorado School, and he presented a design. He included brick monuments with cast stone caps and ornamental iron screens that he associated with the postmodern architecture at the university. This project and vision, promoted by Charles Lester and Stockton Beautiful, was adopted by Pat Cavanaugh, Vice President for Finance and Development UOP, who funded the design of the medians. With those drawings in place, the city was able to acquire federal and Measure K funding for the shovel-ready project, which combined cost over $1.5 million. Today, you will note that those monuments, as Charles designed them, have been installed on Pacific Avenue at the Calaveras River and at Harding Way. I'm sure that Charles is terribly proud of this accomplishment and all the bragging rights associated with it. Well, I've digressed a bit, but not too far. It just goes to show how much this organization, started by Gerry and her friend Charles, have achieved. It's occupied over the last 10 years. We're not going to rest on our laurels. We're determined to move forward with new initiatives, continue to speak out on behalf of the importance of maintenance of public facilities, including our parks and our street trees. We're gathering ideas and establishing priorities for the future, including a Cheer Me Up landscape improvement at both Cesar Chavez Central Library and the Community Center for the Blind. With patience, with vision, with determination, and this small group has made a difference in our community, and we're not stopping now. Our board is composed of active members who promote our project and raise money to accomplish them. If you would like to be a member of our board, grab one of us tonight and let us know. You, of course, should all be members of Stockton Beautiful. If not, please grab a newsletter or membership form tonight, or visit us at stocktonbeautiful.org, or friend or like us on Facebook. Thank you to our supporters who can share in our success. Your membership dollars help us move forward, and your contribution will help us continue to make a difference for generations to come. And now, before the formal dedication, I would like to call Jane Butterfield to the podium for some remarks.
Good evening to everybody that's here. Thank you so much for coming. About a week ago, we lost a real treasure here in Stockton, Dennis Beck. Dennis and my mother were very, very good friends. They admired each other's taste and their sense of style like no one. I mean, they talked for hours about this and that and whatnot. I get a sense that they're probably both looking down at us right now at this whole event and trying to figure out or dish about what's happening. Mom's wondering what we're going to be having to eat. And Dennis is wondering whether the color of the napkins are what he would really pick. So anyway, we've lost somebody that's very special to this community, and we're all going to miss him very much. He's an amazing, amazing talent. I'd like to thank the Stockton Beautiful board and the members of the Stockton Beautiful group for dedicating this rose garden to my mother. As those of you that know my mother, the best thing in life for her were her family, friends, food, and roses, and not necessarily in that order. So anyway, I know she would be absolutely delighted with this honor. I know that. So thank you. I'd also like to thank the people that were responsible for putting on this evening's event. Primarily Laura Hancock. Well, there's a lot of people involved, but the presidents and the council were Laura Hancock and Marilyn DiPolo and Judy Johnson. So thank you to all of you. I'd like to thank Jeff Gamboni. Jeff was responsible for the design of all this, of the monuments, whatnot, and when you come up here, you'll be able to see one of Mom's favorite sayings, "off like a herd of turtles," and I can't really explain to you what the meaning of that is other than that she was slowing down and it was bothering her. But anyway, that's up here, and then the actual monument, and then I'd also like to thank Jim Hanley for installing it. So I know that it was sort of got down to the very end wire, and I think it worked out very well. So I would like to invite all of you after the final dedication into the main part of the museum. We're going to have a little food and maybe some wine. Okay, thank you very much. Jeff?
When Gerry passed away last year, we acknowledged her vital role in this organization, and we're pleased to hear a suggestion by her friend, record columnist Lori Gilbert. She said that she hoped that the Rose Garden might be renamed in Gerry's honor. What a great idea. When the board of directors unanimously adopted this plan, there was the inevitable discussion about how we should memorialize this renaming. Certainly there would be a gathering, but there were many thoughts about how to best physically honor Gerry. A bust, a fountain, a bronze sculpture, or perhaps a bas-relief. Nothing really captured our imaginations until we decided to perhaps engrave the new name in a prominent position and install next to that plaque a mass planting of her favorite rose, the medallion rose. And that's what we have done. You can see the roses in front of me, interplanted with catmint, a filler whose mauve flowers will complement the lovely peach tones of the huge grandiflora style blossoms associated with the medallion rose that you saw on your invitation. And there's more. Right in front of me, you'll see an inscription which our daughter Jane just discussed, which I think captures a lot about Gerry's personality, but also speaks to our organization. Surely the image of the turtles heading forward slowly, deliberately, quietly, humbly, steadily certainly captures the essence of our approach in all of our work. Before we proceed, this would be a good time to thank some of the people that maybe Jane didn't mention. Of course, I want to thank all the donors who honored Gerry with their donations to this, her favorite charity. I want to thank Laura and Malcolm Fortune of Harbor Signs for the masking that was used in the sandblasting, and Lottie Flock for the sandblast engraving and installation. And some of the major donors to this garden should also be remembered at this time. I want to remember the special gift from the Mechanics Bank that funded the shade garden, which is just behind the ornamental trellis here. That's fantastic. This garden of shade-loving, white-flowering plants, including hydrangeas, camellias, and azaleas, is dedicated to the memory of our friend, the late Ed Sanderson, board member of Stockton Beautiful, who also served on the board of directors of the Mechanics Bank. We should also acknowledge the generosity of the late Marion Malloy and her husband George, who saw fit to donate the gap funding that helped us complete this garden, even though all the bricks and roses had not been fully sponsored at that time. I also want to thank our treasurer, Wendy Hancock, who has kept the books and acknowledged donations and recorded all the information utilized to recognize our donors. Without her help, this garden would not be here today. I also want to thank her for introducing us to Terry Riley, who has come and helped us with our pruning. He's here today, and he's introduced us to a new concept to promote blooms. And we think that it's really paying off, and it's been fantastic working with him. We want to thank him for joining us tonight. Special thanks to the museum, which has partnered with us in keeping the Rose Garden an important allied institution within the reservation of land within Victory Park. The committee's been thanked. And so now let's proceed. With the powers invested in me by the Board of Directors of Stockton Beautiful, we're pleased to welcome you to this garden, which we rededicate to all that is beautiful and good and inspiring. This day, we recognize its importance and the comfort and joy that it will bring for years to come. And finally, we rename it in honor of our co-founder and our friend, so that forevermore, this garden shall be known as the Gerry Dunlap Rose Garden. And so it says. I hope you'll join me in walking into the Rose Garden today when we let down the velvet cords. Your presence here means so much to us. And then follow us into the Haggin Museum for a delightful reception hosted by Jane and Gerry Butterfield. Thank you for joining us tonight. You have made it a memorable evening for all of us, the friends, family, and fans of Gerry Dunlap.